WSGZ exclusive bangers.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, WSGZ Radio.
Pedro.
How you doing? Good afternoon.
Good. Doing great.
Yes, we live on the air with Rick Goodfriend, author of the great book, I Hear You, But, with over 100 communication tips.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing that everything came about.
Let's talk about the book, I Hear You, But.
Okay. Well, the title came about just by, it's kind of just to make fun of my peers because they say, well, don't put your butt in front of other people's business. And so I just named it that because we use butt a lot in our language. You know, when we're making a statement, I might say something really positive, and then I might say, but. And then just something negative comes. So that's kind of how that book came about, in a way. And I also had these tips, and I was wondering what to do with them, so I said, I have over 100 tips, and I was put them into a book, and that's what happened.
Incredible. I see here that you stated most people communicate dysfunctionally, using blame, shame, guilt, and fear. You have found a secret that you can share to us about how to calm angry people down. What are the steps to diffusing a situation?
Well, the steps are pretty simple. First, we look at what's going on with this person, and we ask them. We don't tell them that they're angry, but we ask them about their values. They might be saying, well, this person doesn't listen to me, or I don't get to say anything to them. So I would say, this is empathy. Empathy is a deep understanding what another person is going through. So I might empathize with them and say, sounds like you're wanting respect. And that would be a question to them. And they can say yes or no. So that's pretty much what I would be talking to this person, is asking them different questions about their values. And I might stick something in about their feelings, but I would stay with their values because this is most powerful. It's like 90% of the connection with another person is not the feelings, it's really the values like respect and trust, authenticity, integrity, beauty, fun. These are all values that we have, and they just don't get listened to by another person. I think empathy is a drive. We don't really get to be listened and heard by another person. It's just you say something, and then I say something about something else, and that's our conversation. Instead of, if you were talking to me saying, Rick, I want you to be on the radio show, I would say, that would be pretty stimulating to you to have this kind of subject. And that would be a question to you. You might have to just, think about that for a little while. So, wow, stimulating. Yeah.
Yes, stimulating, yes. So empathizing in a situation, does it work all the time or most of the time?
It works 100% of the time that I've used it. It's worked every time for me. In fact, I went to court last week. I'll tell you about this. I haven't told anybody about this. But I went back to court for probate, and my brother was coming after me. He's an older brother. He's jealous, and he's upset a lot. And so he found a way to come after me because I was in charge of the probate. I was the executor. So he found a lawyer who would come after me, and he wanted to throw me in jail. I live in California. when I was in the court, he said, I might just throw you in jail. And I go, oh my gosh, what's going on here? So then I was able to send the judge some letters about what was going on, and I put these values about trust and honesty, and I appreciate his courtroom is the place for honesty. So I think that kind of hit home a little bit, and when I came before him the next time, it was, hello, Mr. Goodfriend, how are you? And then you went right to my brother's lawyer instead of asking him a question and putting him on the stand. So it was just like a total difference how he was treating me the second time. And that's by using our values in sentences, which we don't usually do. But that's one of the things that we've learned in using this communication skill to do. So I got out of a traffic ticket too, using the same mode, using the same values. So I might say, I don't think I'm guilty because this happened, that happened, and then because I also value honesty and trust. And so that might really hit home with the judges, what you did. You found me innocent. So that's a weird way of using this, but it works. It's pretty cool.
Congratulations on that, for real. So empathy does build trust, and you explain that situation, it end up turning out positive, not negative.
Right. It's just a great way to really communicate and to build that trust. And then, as we're empathizing, we're going deeper and deeper and deeper. And the other person doesn't realize it because it's just we're putting a focus on them. And
WSGZ exclusive bangers.
Keep going if you want.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So, as I was saying, to really build that connection with the other person, you really have to listen to them first, because they're not.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still there. Because we're really not going to be heard until the other person has been listened to. So that's kind of how we get listened to somebody else first, and then we'll be able to say more with more freedom what we have to say.
Where can we get the book at?
I'm sorry?
Where can we get the book at?
Amazon has it right then there. They're going to publish it, and they can give it out really fast.
Incredible. Let's talk about World Empathy Day each Wednesday.
That came about by these empathy day tips that I was giving out that made the book. And so every week, every Wednesday, I send out these tips. They're real brief and pretty much how I messed up, and then I fixed it using nonviolent communication. So it's a way that I can keep in contact with people around the world, really. It's really cool how it's taking off, and this became a viral thing. And I'm able to give short tips, and people just read them and go on their merry way. But it's a way to remember to connect, to really communicate with another person, and to take your time. Take your time talking to somebody, and first of all, listening to them and hear what they have to say, so that you'll be able to say what you want to say a lot easier, and they'll hear you more. They'll just say, well, what about you? What's going on with you? And they're ready. They're ready to listen to you. So it's kind of funny that you have to really listen to another person to be heard. It's fascinating, I think.
I see you have 12 years experience teaching these skills to the public. Before you started teaching to the public, what were you doing?
I had like a bed and breakfast. I worked for a phone company, and then I started the internet service, looking at hotel rooms. And I just got tired of it. And, this came about where I went to this guy's workshop about communication skills, because I had no communication skills. And so I went to the place and I walked in the door, and there's 400 people screaming at each other. I just screamed. The teacher said, "What's wrong with you? Get your class in order." I was out of hand. And he said, "That's not a strategy." I go, "Oh my gosh." And people were leaving, but I stuck with it. I stayed with it. And learned skills.
Definitely. We live on WSTZ. The question, I see here that you had an altercation with 3 gang members. How that turn about?
That's pretty cool because I'm walking on. We have a pier here, and so I'm walking on the pier, and this guy's fishing. Well, there's 3 guys, and one guy's fishing, and he puts the rod back, and he almost hit me with the rod. So I walked a little more. I said, "Stop." I walked a little more, and out of my mouth comes the old Rick. He says, "Stupid." And as soon as I said that, I go, "Oh my God, what did I do? What did I say?" Because the one guy turned around, he said, "You calling us stupid?" So I went into the using the skills that I was teaching, and the first thing I said was observation. When I saw the rod coming back, that's observation. And I said my feeling, I was scared. Okay, so there's 2 of the 4 things I would say. So, and then the third part of it was my need, my value, which is 90% again of connecting with these guys, which I didn't know if I wanted to connect with them or not. But I said, and I was wanting my safety. I was needing my safety. And all of a sudden, the guy said, "You're talking to me, you're calling me stupid." He looks at me and said, "Oh, okay, I got it. I'll watch out for this guy and make sure that he doesn't cast or hurt anybody." And I just looked at him and I didn't say a word. But I started walking again and I go, "Oh my gosh, how it changed an altercation into something peaceful." Because what happened was the guy connected with my need for safety. He wanted safety too. So that was a way of using these skills and nonviolent communication skills to change an altercation to something that was peaceful, that became very peaceful. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Like I said, you turn a negative situation into a positive outcome. Definitely. I want to ask you one more question. How can we use these skills in the workplace with customers, bosses, and colleagues?
Yeah, well, one way we can use this with the customer, if you're in sales or whatever you want to do, the same thing, you want to connect with the customer, with your needs, your values. And if you go to my website, rickgoodfriend.com, you can download and print out a needs list that I have on my website. But again, it's rickgoodfriend.com, and there's a lot of information on their website about the skills that I teach, and you can get a lot of information right there about how this works and how you can make it work right off a little fast and very quickly.
Definitely. So it sounds like you really care about what you do, and it sounds like you get a fulfillment to teach others how to empathize and cool down situations.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's amazing at how this works and how easily it works. The hard part is getting your mind into that frame, because we all want to use that, like I said, the blame, shame, and guilt, and fear, and comparison, and stuff like that. And that brings us down. That brings us down in the world. We need to stay up, but we need to keep empathizing with other people, again, so that we will be heard too. We will be listened to. But that's pretty much how we're going to be heard, is to listen to somebody else. And I might be saying that a lot, but it's the fact. It's the fact that, we're empathy deprived. None of us are really listened to. None of us are really heard in this world. And it's one way that we're able to really connect with ourselves and with other people by listening to somebody else and then being able to express really what we want to express in the world.
Incredible. I see here that you have one more website too. I'm gonna plug that in. www.walkyourtalk.org.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing as rickgoodfriend.com. And the one website you might want to talk about is the Empathy Day. www.empathyday.com, and that's where you can sign up. Or you can sign up at rickgoodfriend.com for that weekly Empathy Day tip also.
Thank you very much for taking out the time. Definitely. Would you like to make a contribution to WSGZ to help us with the high cost of streaming over here?
Yeah, I'll look into that and see how much I can donate, okay?
I appreciate it, man. We definitely want you back on the show around July. That sounds good with you?
Yeah, July sounds great.
Definitely. I give you further details, and God bless you, man, for real, man. I love the book, definitely, and I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you appreciating what I'm doing, and taking the time to really read it and just check it out.
Definitely, man. We need individuals like you to come back, because we live in a conflicted world, and and you could shed some light through WSGZ too, and through your websites and everything, for our younger generations and parents too. What you think about that? It sounds good?
Sounds great. Sounds fantastic.
Definitely, man.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem, all right? You have a great afternoon, and I stay in contact with you. God bless.
Okay. Take care, man. Bye-bye.
WSGZ exclusive bangers.